you constantly waiting for someone to be the one to make the first move will make them also feel like you don't care too much for the relationship, or you don't care too much for the friendship, so they might retreat as well. So we're constantly talking about how I don't want someone to come with baggage in the relationship, or I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's not healed. Are you healed though? This is the question that we need to be asking. How you see yourself, how you talk about yourself is how others will see you and possibly talk about you. When you post something and you say, ignore the stain on my shirt. I didn't even know the stain was there. I had no clue the stain was there. But now the stain is, now I'm even looking for the stain. Where is the stain? Social media is full of everyone with opinions, including me. I'm here telling you my opinions. Oh my gosh, man. I have to have a jam session every time, but I can't post it here because I'll get copyrighted. So all I can do is tell you that I had a jam session. If you want to see snippets of my jam sessions, do follow me on Instagram, because you may see them on my story, because I will not get copyrighted there. And yeah, so welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you clicked to watch this video. I'm glad that you've been coming back, and if you are new, make sure you catch up, because we've been having a lot of conversations over the last around 2 months now. Oh, wow, time is flying. But today we are going to be discussing things that you need to be aware of and realize at some point. And I'll get straight into it, because I don't really have any updates except for the fact that it's October. Oh, by the way, it's my birthday month. My birthday is on the 27th. So I hope you're going to celebrate my birthday with me by sending me gifts. Start preparing your gifts, start preparing them. It's my birthday month. Aside from it being my birthday month, it's hot. It is hot. It's hot, man. We're supposed to be in the middle of fall or autumn, and the weather is supposed to be cool down, as we get into winter. But tell me why. As in, tell me why I am fighting for my life every single time. Why are we hitting 100 degrees Fahrenheit? I don't understand. California is just different, man. It's different. But nevertheless, I'll go to the beach. Actually, I want to go to the beach before it gets colder or cooler or cool, because it's not cool at all. So yeah, the beach will see me over the course of the next 2 weeks or so. I don't know, some point. Definitely before it gets cold though. Yeah, so let's get straight into it. I don't want to focus on the weather too much, but yeah, let's get straight into it. I have several points. I had to really sit down and think about things. Because this started off as a thought where I was just like, man, at some point you have to realize that ... I don't remember exactly what I was thinking in that moment. I was like, wait, this could be a good video idea. So I just started thinking about other things that I've realized at some point, and just things that I think are good to realize and keep in mind. Okay, so number one, this one, I think this is going to be a common theme in some of these conversations that I have, and this one is that friendships and relationships do not sustain themselves. They do not sustain themselves, especially as we get older, especially as we get out of the system where we are all in school, we're all seeing each other every day. You have to make that extra step. You have to be intentional to reach out to people and to keep the friendships going, because when we were in school was doing all the work for us. Oh, you're going to be in school on Tuesday. Oh, me too. Okay, I'll see you at school. Or you're going to be here on this day. Okay, me too. Or those things. Oh, you're going to this event. Me too. Okay, I'll see you there. Now everyone is in their own homes. You came alone, you left alone. Hey, they used to tell us that in school in Kenya. But now you're in a place where everyone is in different parts of the state, different parts of the country. The friendship needs intentionality for it to continue thriving. that means even if it's just reaching out to someone and telling them, oh, you are on my mind, I just thought of you. Me, by the way, my heart melts, whatever. So if someone texts me and they're like, I just thought of you, wanted to check in, see how you do. I literally love you. I love you because thank you for thinking of me. It makes me feel appreciated, and I like to feel appreciated by people who are my friends. So I'm glad that I have people in my life who do that. And so if you are someone who is trying to figure out how to keep your friendships going, especially since we are all entering that adult phase where, you know, life is beginning to life, try to think of ways you can be intentional about reaching out to people and just, you know, seeing how they're doing, just chat about whatever. Yeah, have conversations with people. If you constantly wait for the other person to reach out to you, me, first of all, I'm not usually afraid to reach out. Like, if I don't feel that key feeling where it's like I'm the one carrying this friendship on my back, I don't have a problem reaching out. But if I'm constantly the one, like, I'm gonna get tired. You constantly waiting for someone to be the one to make the first move will make them also feel like you don't care too much for the relationship, or you don't care too much for the friendship. So they might retreat as well, because they're like, okay, maybe I'm investing a lot in a place where it is not valued and appreciated. And of course, we are aware of, you know, life having its own seasons and everything, and it's okay for you to let people know, I know I've been distant, or I'm entering a season of my life where I won't be as present. Just keeping that communication clear also allows people to know that, okay, we're cool, and this person can also check in on you, and there's also another way for you guys to connect, because if you need extra support, they can support you. But now if you just completely disappear, you need to communicate. Kind of digress there a bit. Okay, the second point is that at some point you've got to realize that anything negative you have learned and internalized is upon you now to unlearn, and to take the necessary steps that you need in order to develop healthier coping mechanisms, or to develop healthier perspectives. And I don't know, traumas, insecurities, it's really on you now to address it. Because we're constantly talking about, for example, I'm going to share an example of relationships. We're constantly talking about how I don't want someone to come with baggage in the relationship, or I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's not healed. Are you healed though? This is the question that we need to be asking. Are you healed? Are you doing those things that you need to do in order to work on yourself and to be a healthier version of yourself? Take some time to self-reflect. Journaling helps as well. Yeah, journaling. Whew, man, the third point, it was a bit hard for me to accept the first time I realized that this was a thing. At some point, you've got to realize that not everyone is going to be in your life forever, and that's okay. What do you mean? No, what do you mean? What do you mean? That was me the first time I had that, and it was my counselor that told me that when I was in uni, community college. My counselor told me that some people are in your life for a season, and that's okay. As in, I couldn't believe it. The first time I was conscious of the idea of people not being in your life forever was when I finished class 8, and then now we have that holiday before we go to Form 1. And I remember being so stressed out because I'm like, oh my gosh, all my friends, and we're gonna lose touch, and I don't know what it's going to look like, because now we're not in the same environment anymore. We may never see each other ever again. That was my first realization of, oh, these friends that I have we're literally going in different paths. But I didn't know that it was this particular concept of some people are going to be in your life for a season. And I mean, I have some people who are still in my life from primary school, and I'm so thankful for that, because they're some of my most amazing friends, right? But when I went, it's something that took me some time to really internalize and just be like, wow, okay, so this is actually a thing. So now when I was older and my counselor is telling me some people are in your life for a season, I was just like, what do you like, you mean like, okay. And then the more I familiarized myself with that and just made myself look at that in the sense that, yeah, they're here for a season or a lesson. That season could be for a lesson. So yeah, now I found that I don't put too much pressure on, you know, is this person going to be here forever? Of course I'm going to think about it, because there are people in my life I'm like, I want you in my life because I love having you in my life. But I also allow myself to just enjoy it as it is, not really putting pressure on what I don't know yet. Reason, season, or lesson. Have I learned lessons from different people that have been in my life and are no longer in my life? Absolutely. Absolutely. Whew! That could be another episode actually. Lessons I've learned from friendship. Lessons I've learned from people who were in my life for a season. No. Lessons I've learned about friends. Yeah, so just embrace it because it's the motion of life. It is the motion of life. Yeah. The next point is that at some point you've got to realize that relying on social media solely, just social media for advice on things going on in your life, is not always the most beneficial thing to do. And I'm saying that because social media is full of everyone with opinions, including me. I'm here telling you my opinions. And not everyone is an expert in what they're sharing. You're going on social media and you're seeing a fitness influencer and they told you this Bulgarian split squats, the way you do them, stop doing them like that. Do them like this and twist your body so that you can feel it more in your glutes. That person is not even a qualified trainer. They're not professional. They're just sharing. Could have worked for them. It's not going to work for you, most likely. And it could lead to an injury that could have been avoided by just doing it the conventional way. So I'm using fitness as an example because every day there's just a new variation of deadlifts, a new variation. And it's just coming. Everyone has their own variation. If you follow every single, no, you're going to get lost. And if you do choose to go to social media to see what people have to say about relationships and friendships and this and that, take it with a pinch of salt, because you need to relate it to yourself in a way that you need to discern. You need to discern what you're receiving. Be vigilant in making sure that your perspective is not getting corrupted by the opinions of random people who may not even be qualified to be giving you the advice. That, unless you trust the advice, then that's a different thing, but you need to not be susceptible to every single thing that you come across. Okay? Another thing is that people's judgments and people's advice and everything that they're going to say has some bias to it. It's very hard to find people who offer objective advice and objective, just, I don't know, information. So a lot of times you'll find things being skewed and it's just, I don't know if I should follow this, because this is very much an opinion you're giving me because of a past experience you had, and you're not looking at it from an overview, you're just looking at it from this. And that's just how we are. Our experiences dictate how we move, or they inform how we move. And so if you ever find yourself seeking any kind of advice or tips or anything that could be better achieved from a professional, go to a professional. Don't go to someone random. Next point is that at some point you have got to realize that no one is responsible for your happiness but you. A lot of times there are people who will find themselves in a relationship because being in a relationship with a companion makes them feel happy. It makes them feel like their best self, and it may seem like the best decision in that moment. But then who are you after a relationship doesn't work out? If you consistently tie your happiness and just your sense of joy to someone else, I was listening to this podcast called Balanced Black Girl by Les, and she was talking about how if you make someone else the sun in your life, if they're not there, then you feel decentered, you feel disoriented. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, but make sure that you are the sun in your life. It's you that is cultivating habits and moments and memories that bring you your own joy. Making someone else the sun isn't always going to be the most consistent thing, and it's not going to be sustainable, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow with someone else. That person that is the sun in your life. Sun as in jua. Sun as in sun, not sun as in. When you do find yourself in relationships, what they give you should be like a supplement. They should be supplementing the joy and happiness you already have within yourself. They shouldn't just carry all of it, man. The next point. At some point, you have got to realize that how you see yourself, how you talk about yourself, is how others will see you and possibly talk about you. This point comes because I'm trying to think of people who I have listened talk about themselves in particular ways, and it kind of changes the way I see them in a way. Because then now, if, for example, you're always carrying yourself with confidence and you're always expressing yourself as someone who is, comfortable with yourself and just happy with who you are, I'm always gonna see you as, oh, okay, this person is someone that is happy with who they are, someone that carries themselves a particular way, and okay. Versus someone who is always looking down on themselves. I'm not going to look down on you, but it raises the probability of me noticing those things that you constantly talk down on yourself about, because they may never have been in my scope of view, but now after you are pointing something out, I'm gonna notice it now, and it's going to affect how I see you in a way, because now I'm conscious of that thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that I will treat you the way you treat yourself, but it just means I will see you that way. And it's not even something that I'm doing on purpose. It's going to happen because I'm human. If you bring something to my attention, I'm going to notice it. So make sure that you're bringing the best parts of yourself to your attention and to other people's attention. A good example of this is when you post something and you say, ignore the stain on my shirt. I didn't even know the stain was there. I had no clue the stain was there. But now I'm even looking for the stain. Where is the stain? Now I've seen the stain. I mean, of course, the point itself is much deeper than ignore this on my post, but that's a good example to show you. Like if you post it and you're like, oh wow, my skin is glowing today because I'm outside in the sun, I'm gonna be like, yeah, wow, your skin is glowing because you're in the sun. But now that same post, you post it and you're like, oh my gosh, the stain on my shirt, I'm gonna be like, yeah, the stain on your shirt. So just be mindful of how you talk about yourself, especially to others. Of course, there are people who are safe spaces and you're like, today I'm feeling a bit down, or today I have this going on. And those people can have those conversations with you, right? And they can uplift you. Talk to them when you're feeling low. The point of this is that you should uplift yourself more than you do self-deprecation. Don't let that ratio be self-deprecation is here and uplifting yourself is here. Let it be the other way around as much as you can. Because the more you tell yourself some positive things about yourself, the more you affirm yourself, the more you also internalize that more. But if you're constantly talking down, oh, I'm not even this, I'm not this, I'm not that, you're gonna believe those things about yourself, and then now other people will believe those things about you because you're bringing it to their attention. But if you constantly tell yourself and uplift yourself, then those are the things that you are going to carry, and those are the things that you're going to embody more effortlessly. So make sure you're embodying the nice things and the positive things about yourself and not the negative things. This next point is for people who are people pleasers. At some point, you've got to realize that people pleasing does you more harm than good. Because a lot of times you are doing something to please the other person at your expense, at the expense of your feelings, at the expense of your convenience, and it just does you more harm than good. It doesn't really benefit you most of the time when you benefit someone, because whatever you're doing, whatever you're agreeing to, isn't something that you would agree with or you would go with on a normal day. So it is okay for you to set boundaries and for you to allow yourself to just say, maybe I don't want to do this thing. Try, because you should be comfortable in your own body. You should be comfortable. Your gut should be at peace when you agree to do something. Like your spirit should be at peace. Your spirit should be relaxed. As you set those boundaries, you need to realize that boundaries are actually meant to make the relationship work in a successful way for both parties. Because if I'm setting a boundary with you, I'm telling you, I don't appreciate it when you do this, or I would like for something to be like this, or I appreciate something more when it's like this. Because if I didn't care to maintain the relationship, I would actually just be like, this is not working, goodbye. But the fact that I'm going to set a boundary means that I care about you enough to want to have this relationship run in a way that both of us feel safe, both of us feel at peace, both of us feel understood. So as a people pleaser, as a recovering people pleaser, I can say that it is important to recognize that people pleasing is never really good for you as a people pleaser, and that you need to choose yourself by setting boundaries where applicable. And in line with the boundaries thing, another point is that you've got to realize that it is okay to choose yourself. If a situation is not fulfilling you and it's draining you a lot more than it fulfills you, it's okay for you to choose yourself and be like, I'm going to remove myself from this situation. It's okay. The next point is that at some point you have got to realize that comparison is the thief of joy. And then I was listening to TMI podcast. I love TMI podcast. They were saying that comparison is also a distraction from your purpose, because someone else's journey is leading them to their purpose, and you're comparing yourself to them when your journey is taking you in two very different directions. So now you're feeling inadequate when your purpose is completely different from this other person's purpose. If you're constantly looking at someone else's journey from the perspective of their grass is greener, you don't know what kind of things that they're dealing with for them to be where they are. And it's okay for you to embrace your journey. You should embrace your journey because it's unique, because it's taking you to where you're meant to be, however long that takes. Embrace your journey, appreciate it, allow yourself to learn from your journey, because if you're trying to compare yourself to someone who's on a completely different journey, then you're losing sight of what you're supposed to be picking up along your own way. Which now leads me to the next point, which is at some point you've got to realize that social media is not 100%. And you just truly never know what someone's life is like. You never really know, aside from snippets that you might see, you'll never really know 100% what someone's life is like. So if you compare yourself to social media, things you see on social media, it's going to frustrate you a lot. It's going to leave you confused. It's going to stir up a lot of feelings that could be avoided by just, my life is my life, their life is their life. I'll keep watching, I enjoy their content or this and that. But this also goes for comparing people who compare their bodies, because have you seen those people that go and get cosmetic surgery done and then they come and they sell you workout plans? Can you imagine comparing yourself to someone like that who isn't even genuine to begin with about their journey? And then now you're frustrated with yourself because I bought this workout plan. Not me though, I wouldn't buy those plans. this is a hypothetical situation. You've bought a workout plan, you've tried it, it's not working. Now you're frustrated because this trainer that you don't know got a cosmetic surgery done is telling you, do this workout, this, you will look like me. Now you have done it, you're like, why am I not looking like them? It's not funny. And now it's making you feel like there's something you're doing wrong. It's making you feel like you need to be doing, it's just making you feel a lot of things that are negative. And that's why I say, just imagine, follow your own journey. Something like fitness, look for a trainer if you absolutely need someone to guide you, because you can learn on YouTube. I learned on YouTube just looking. I basically learned everything I know from YouTube and Google. If you do find yourself needing someone to train you and someone to guide you on anything, even not just fitness, find a professional, or find someone that is successful in their field, which is most likely a professional. If you seek a mentor in another career field or another field that is just successful in what they have done and they have a lot of experience they could share, that's also different. But yeah, things that require professionals, just always go to the professional. Go to the professional. Yeah. The next point is, at some point you have got to realize that it is okay for you to outgrow certain spaces, and it is okay for you to allow yourself to move on from those spaces. I have been in situations where I have felt like I outgrew certain spaces and I did not let myself transition out of them because of different factors, like, oh, I've been in this friendship for this many years, or I've been in this friendship for this amount of time, so I feel like I shouldn't leave, you know, or I just feel like I was looking at history over, what is that? It's about this, I'll find it. But yani, my gut was telling me, my gut was like, no, this is not the space for you anymore. That, as in, it's just not working. And I was just like, I can make it work. Listen to your gut. Your gut always knows. Your gut can feel. Your body knows when you feel uncomfortable in a particular environment. And you need to listen to that, because not listening to your gut is a disservice to yourself, as I have come to learn in my life. So, guess that's something else you need to realize too. I guess that's something that you also need to realize. The next point is, at some point you have got to realize that beating yourself up over something that's already done and happened only holds you back more than it lets you move on. Because, okay, it happened. Now what can we do? We beat ourselves up, but we can't go back and change the outcome. The best thing you can do for yourself is take your L, okay? Take the L, and then be compassionate with yourself. Give yourself grace, because you are experiencing a lot of things in your life for the first time, because it's your first time living life. So you can't beat yourself up for not doing something a particular way, or not handling a situation a particular way, when, especially if you've never been in a particular kind of situation to gain experience on how you should navigate those things. Acknowledge the fact that you are human. So give yourself grace whenever you have moments where something did not go the way you wanted it to go, or the way you would have liked for it to go. Give yourself grace. Next point, at some point you have got to realize that making the right decision doesn't always feel good. It doesn't always feel like it brings you the joy that you expected after you made that decision. Sometimes it can feel like sadness, especially when that decision revolves spaces that you were very comfortable in. You can feel like, okay, maybe I need to go back. Maybe me feeling sad is a sign for me to go back, but please, no. Especially not when you are in such a vulnerable state. You need to at least give yourself some time to process making the right decision, assess why you had to make that decision and why it was correct for you to do that, why it was necessary for you to do that, and just weigh the situation. Because most times we feel sad because we are also habitual beings. Like, say for example, you break up with someone, you know why you needed to break up with them, but you will not necessarily feel joy because you have ended this relationship. Like, you may feel like, yeah, I needed to do this, but you may be sad at the same time. And being sad does not mean that it is a sign for you to go back. It just means that you need to establish new routines for yourself. It means that you need to process the feeling and emotions that come with you not being in a relationship with someone anymore, because we are habitual beings, and the more we do certain things, the more it becomes muscle memory. So if you're used to, as soon as I wake up, I'm calling this person, we're talking on the phone, or at particular points of my day, it revolves around things to do with this relationship. So now you have to figure out how to change that routine so that it doesn't revolve around that person anymore. And that can take time. And still, that doesn't mean that you should take it as a sign to go back. It means that you should be patient with yourself and allow yourself to move on at your own pace, and appreciate the fact that you made the right decision for you, the best decision for you. At some point, you have got to realize that who you surround yourself with does make an impact, especially as we get older. Man, the people you surround yourself with do make an impact. I have had situations where I'm not necessarily feeling like going out at night, because the whole nightlife thing, if I'm not in the mood for it, I'm not gonna go. So in those moments where I'm just like, no, this weekend I want to stay in the house, but you have people who are constantly just insisting, no, let's go out, why are you being boring, or why you... Today, guys, I've decided I won't record my video. This goes back to the whole people pleasing thing, the whole, choosing yourself thing, and boundaries. All of these things are related. You might find yourself having people in your life who have very different ideologies of what it's like to have fun. And in those moments, it can feel like pressure. I don't want to go out, please. I don't want to go out. It's such an uncomfortable feeling to just be with people who are not aligned. And that's just, it may not sound like a big example, but it kind of is, because if I want to go out and do this, but you just constantly want to be out every other weekend or every weekend, and you don't know how to respect the fact that I've said, no, I don't want to go out, then it means we're not aligned. I need someone that is going to be respectful of the fact that I've said, no, I don't want to go out, and be like, okay, we'll find something else to do. Or, okay, what else would you like to do? Not, oh, you don't want to go out? You're so boring. Okay, I'm boring. Sue me for wanting to sleep on my bed this Saturday night instead of going out. If you are someone that is goal-oriented, surround yourself with people who are goal-oriented, or pursue those relationships more, because being around people like that also motivates you. You need to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with people who you are aligned with. It makes you want to keep going, because it's like, okay, we're here, we're uplifting each other. Be with people who are on the same wavelength as you. Mommy, can you sing me? At some point, you have got to realize that self-care is not just about face masks and skincare routine and just those things that have made self-care be romanticized in such an almost shallow way, for lack of a better word. Self-care is that, yes, but it also goes far beyond that. It is about you self-reflecting, and having tough conversations with yourself where needed, and implementing the change that you want to see within yourself. Self-care is about making promises to yourself and keeping those promises. We are so quick and dedicated to making our promises come true to others, for others, for others. But now when it comes to us, when it comes to yourself, that's where you draw the line. You said, I will start the gym. You said, I will start working out in January. It's now almost December. You have not kept that promise to yourself. Why? But the other promise that you made to someone else, you moved heaven and you moved everything around to make sure. So self-care, it really just involves a lot more than oh yeah, I washed my face and I did a face mask today and I wore my gown, and yes, it involves those things, but self-care is a lot more. The work happens when you are committed to making your promises come true, when you're committed to achieving the goals you have for yourself. You want to become a better version of yourself. Okay, are you self-reflecting? Are you journaling? Are you going to therapy? You decided you wanted to achieve more fitness. Are you moving your body several times a week? Are you going to the gym, or are you just not doing anything? You decided that you wanted to learn how to be more emotionally intelligent. What are you doing to get yourself there? So you said you wanted to incorporate healthier habits into your life. You said you wanted to learn something that could be a new hobby. What have you done to get yourself there? You said you noticed that there are certain habits you don't like within yourself, or certain things that you've picked up throughout your life that you want to unlearn. What have you done to get there? You promised to be at a particular point by this particular time. What are you doing to get there? Are you doing anything to get there? That is self-care, because it means you're caring for yourself on a holistic level, and not just your skin, and not just I'm wearing a gown and I'm sitting down to watch a movie, or I'm steaming my face. Like, as much as those things count, they're not the only things that go into caring for yourself in a way that allows you to be the best version of you. There's a lot that goes into it. So yeah. Okay, so those are all the points I had for today. I hope that the video has been insightful. I hope you have found at least something that you can think about and see if it's something you need to incorporate into your life or work towards. I was reflecting a lot as I was making these points. So yeah, I will see you on the next one. Have a wonderful day, week, weekend, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, send it to someone. That counts as share, but all these things definitely help the channel grow. So I will see you on the next one.